Do y'all remember like when Hillary Clinton had like the whole email thing?
Yeah,
bro,
and how niggas lost their
Bro,
mind
nuts.
because there might have been like a private server, and they still have conspiracies to this day, even though the FBI recommended to not bring charges because they were like it doesn't qualify like violating this act or whatever. Cool. There was a lot of reactions to this. I want to go to the first Pete Hegseth clip because on Fox and Friends they talked about what happened. I just wanted to show you guys it.
Pete. Okay, let's see what Pete has to say.
It's
in
weird as-
2016.
Because this was a big controversy. It like damn near determined the election. It happened
Yeah,
right.
it did.
Yeah,
It
this
did.
shit-
Anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now.
Correct.
For what has been done. Because the assumption is in the intelligence community, if you are using unclassified means, there is the potential for and likelihood that foreign governments are targeting those accounts and gathering intelligence from them, which means that individual and the others associated with them have been passing around through unsecure networks information, sources, and methods of people on the ground, covers compromised in real time.
Yes.
This is a real deal, full-blown national security
valid
scandal.
concern, right?
Valid concern.
That's valid concern.
Pete know what he's talking about.
Top
right?
national security officials for President Donald Trump, including his defense secretary, Pete fucking Hegseth, texted plans for an upcoming military strike in Yemen to a group chat, a secure messaging app, Signal, that included the editor-in-chief of
You're
The
fucking
Atlantic,
lying.
Jeffrey Goldberg.
You're lying.
This motherfucker here and his team accidentally leaked a fucking upcoming bombing in Yemen to
On Signal.
On Signal.
On Signal. This nigga was trying to send this nigga a lasagna recipe and
Bombing plans. Yo. Like, what are we talking
This is a full-blown national security scandal.
what are we talking? That's insane.
Pete, are you serious, Pete?
Pete, bro, I'm happy to hear what you think
Why
about
are
your
they
damn self.
texting bombing runs on fucking Signal?
Like, this
Okay.
is like kick days or
This
something.
is a whole
Ooh, nigga. The bomb Yemen, huh?
y'all. So this
Nigga JD, man.
What's the word, y'all?
Looking like a thumb.
he said, so what we doing today?
He bombing
That fat
Yemen
ass
and shit.
Oh, God.
Okay,
Hell
so
no.
this is actually like damn near the biggest foreign policy, like national security blunder in like the history of this country, especially recent history. This
What the
gets
fuck?
so fucking insane.
Let's get into it.
So we start with so basically the context needed, right? So when the war kicked back up in Gaza, when Israel started their bombing and everything around like October, what happened was around that similar time, I believe November, the Houthi rebels, which is a terrorist organization, they're combating. They're in Yemen, I believe. They're backed by Iran. They started attacking like commercial ships and civilian ships going through the Suez Canal, which is right by like Africa, because that's where like a lot of global trade like goes through. All the ships have to go through that shipping lane. They started attacking them because they're like, we're gonna attack them until like you guys stop bombing and massacring like Gaza, right? So they've been doing that. Then the ceasefire period just happened. So like they stopped, whatever, and then negotiations broke down again, and then Israel bombed the fuck out of Gaza again. So I don't remember if they actually started attacking again, but now we're in the situation where the administration, the Trump administration, apparently wanted to like go attack them to get them to
since
stop.
we're sucking the shit out of Israel's cock.
Yeah, mind you, yeah. So they wanted to go attack them to stop.
bubble.
Yeah.
Spit bubble.
Bowen's like
That's
blowing
nuts.
bubble. And
You're getting
you don't even have to get into a conversation about like anti-Semitism, all that shit. My thing is, if my country's giving you weapons and you continuously prove that you can't stop killing civilians, I'm not gonna keep giving you
Like,
weapons.
right.
Like,
It's that simple.
Yeah. But so that happens. And then like, so they're trying to figure out what to do next about the Houthis, because the Biden administration was trying to be very calculated as to not, commit
Just go-
war
yeah,
crimes or whatever.
exactly.
But the Trump administration decided, okay, we're going to take it upon ourselves to personally attack them, right? And no one knew about this information. Then, apparently, on Tuesday, March 11th, right, this journalist, his name is, I forget, is it
like
Jeffrey
Joe-
Goldberg,
it's like
right?
Jeffrey
Jeff-
Goldberg,
I thought it was
Jeffrey
Joe.
Goldberg. This journalist at The Atlantic, editor-in-chief at The Atlantic, says at 11:44 a.m., the account labeled Pete Hegseth posted a Signal team update, actually, right? Because he gets this random request to join this group chat or whatever. He got it.
Don't mind if I do.
He gets it. He received a connection on March 11th from a user identified as Michael Waltz, which is Donald Trump's national security advisor, right? He gets a random like invite to this group chat. So he like okay, well, what the fuck's going on? He's like, I don't know if this is the Michael Waltz, but I kind of hope it is. But all right, cool. I'm going to just join it, see what it's about. So he's in there for a while, right? He says at 11:44 a.m., the account labeled Pete Hegseth, nigga in that clip, posted a Signal team update. He says he will not quote from the update from in other texts because the information was super like sensitive, right? He said the information contained in them, if they had been read by an adversary of the United States, could conceivably have been used to harm American military and intelligence personnel, particularly in the broader Middle East Central Command area of responsibility. And then he did say what Hegseth posted contained operational details of forthcoming strikes on Yemen, including information about targets, weapons the U.S. would be deploying, and the attack sequencing.
What the fuck?
So
just imagine if that shit got into the wrong hands and then they like,
Imagine
you know what?
Nigga, imagine you just randomly got an invite to a group chat. You like,
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Join
Yeah.
that bitch.
Nigga gave me fucking war plans.
Yeah. So originally, this nigga, he's like, okay, this has got to be fake.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, well, what's happening? I think there's like some disinformation campaign because first of all, this is happening on Signal, the app Signal. The vice president of the United States is apparently in this group chat. The secretary of defense is in this group chat. The fucking secretary of state, Marco Rubio, is in this group chat. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, is in this group chat.
Fuck?
Everybody apparently
CIA
they're
niggas,
speculating
hella
who
people
they're
in that
speculating
group
who SM is, but that's apparently like there might be Stephen Miller, who's like a ghoul who was heading Trump's foreign policy in his first administration. He's not even in the cabinet this time, but apparently he might still be running point for Trump because a lot of our moves have been looking like shit he's been trying to do, especially when it comes to the Middle East.
Wow.
So these niggas
That's
got caught out
crazy.
crazy. They in
Didn't
this
they
group
say somebody was in the group chat where their phones were registered and they were in Russia?
Yes. One of I forget, one of Trump's officials that were in that group chat had just landed in Russia and was invited to the group chat and was in the group chat while being in Russia. And Signal,
Russian
for those
internet,
you who don't understand,
Yo.
I'll get into it, but there are specific parameters on how you're supposed to handle classified like government information, right?
Not on a
Signal is
fucking
not
Signal.
one of them, and also
That's like these niggas doing that shit on Discord.
yeah,
Nigga, like,
exactly.
Right.
And also, the reason why it's also a big problem is because remember, in a couple episodes ago, we talked about how our foreign policy is shifting towards like pro-Russia shit and pro like authoritarian. There is information that like Russia, China, and a bunch of other countries have been trying to hack into Signal to get like damning evidence about like political like politicians in the U.S. and everything, probably to hold over their head.
Already.
So we know from a national security standpoint that countries, foreign governments, have been trying to attack to get information from Signal. And
Yeah,
y'all are on
use
this.
Signal.
Y'all are
That's
on
nuts.
That's insane.
Bro, that's how you know they probably clicked up, nigga.
So this is what the journalist says, one of the texts included. He said, according to the lengthy Hegseth text, the first detonations in Yemen would be felt in 2 hours from when he received it at 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. He says, so he waited in his car in the supermarket parking lot because he's like, if it's real, at this point, nothing's happened yet. He's like, if it's real, then they should get attacked like in these next couple hours. At about 1:55 p.m., he said he checks X and searches Yemen, and explosions were being heard across Sana'a, the capital city.
That's insane.
He said he goes back to the
like
chat. Yes, so he heard about this.
That's like earth shattering.
He heard about this shit 2 hours before it happened. He's sitting in the parking lot like, yo, what the
Jam fam, y'all gotta really deep this shit. Imagine you're in you get a text like that, you're in a Walmart parking lot. You like, fuck it, let me just like, I don't know, search up Cali or some shit like that.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, these niggas got bombed. Bro, that's
That's
nuts. That's like
crazy.
bro.
that must be a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's
Exactly.
like, oh my
you're like,
God.
holy shit.
Yes.
Like, this does not
and
happen.
you're not, and this never happens before, especially a journalist. Like, how are you being? It's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? So, just to verify, at this point, we don't know what the fuck's going on. He doesn't know if it's real. At this point in my research, I don't know what's going on. So he says he goes back to the Signal channel at 1:48, and Michael Waltz, who apparently sent him the invite, had provided the group an update. He said again he won't quote from it but some of the things that were there is they described the operation as an amazing job. A few minutes later, John Ratcliffe wrote a good start. I think John Ratcliffe is head of the CIA. This is the group chat, and I was trying to like verify the shit or whatever. This is in different time zone, but the good start is right there.
That's
He
it
also
too,
says,
yeah.
not long after, Walls responded with 3 emojis. First, an American flag and fire. They included
That's
this
at
with it.
5 p.m.
Yes, this
That's
is.
nuts.
What
Yeah,
these
so
niggas said?
fuck?
So
These niggas in a group
screenshots
chat,
are
but
there.
No, you got to really think about this shit. These
Mind
are-
you, they just bombed the country.
No, I was just
I was gonna say,
you
these
just
are
bomb something.
These
You
are
put 3
regular
emojis.
people, like blood and bone, same like us, same like you at home. These niggas are in a group chat sending emojis about bombing a country with civilians.
Mind you,
around
and
it.
again, the use of there's supposed to be congressional approval before we fucking do this, mind you. But
Yes.
since 9/11, they've done a bunch of like authorizations of military force that kind of gives the president more leeway to determine this shit. So we're just unilaterally bombing Yemen, and these niggas are celebrating.
Good start.
Good start.
what's
Good
so
start,
crazy-
man.
I
Yeah.
literally just talked
America.
We were
Fuck
literally
outta
just
here,
talking
bro.
about this, 'cause
What?
I remember JJ showed me this video of this guy having a fucking aneurysm trying to like talk.
Oh yeah.
Give the context.
They were
real quick.
asking, I forget who it is, but it was one of Trump's. I think it was like his border czar or some shit. They were asking him about how
Yeah,
they
it was a-
determined.
yeah.
They were asking him about how the fuck they determined that the what are they, Venezuelans? I forget. The Tren de Aragua gang members. How did you determine that they're actual gang members and not just people? Because some of them don't even have like criminal records. They were like, he was like. That's what he said.
Literally,
He
he had
did
to-
not even answer.
Go look at the clip. The
He
nigga
didn't
literally was like,
And the whole point is they were sending those people, to like those prisons in Ecuador, right?
They were sending them to El Salvador, I believe,
Yeah.
and that's a notorious prison. That's like torture. They're sending like women have been sent there.
And
Mind
most
you, there's
people have
no due
died.
process. We don't
people
know
have-
if they're
yeah, people
actual
have
members
died,
of this terrorist organization or nothing. There's no due process. They just sent them there, and then they try to use the justification that the judge that ordered us.
That's how it-
Yeah.
The main point of that was I was telling JJ, I was like, yo, these niggas genuinely think this is a fucking game.
Yeah, like
Yes.
this is
Because
like
there's
fucking
no
COD
way
or
you
some
bomb
shit.
Yemen and you put 3 emojis.
And I feel like
So-
Americans
That's
think that.
like
in
so-
general.
So, and mind you, right, the only reason why they found out about this shit, right, is because they ended up doing, the journalist ended up doing the bare minimum, right? And he like reports on this shit and he removes himself from the group chat, whatever, which in my opinion, I would have stayed in there.
Yeah,
I
you're
would have
lying.
stayed
You're
in that
tweaking.
motherfucker.
But he removes himself from the group chat
Oh,
and
did
he
they see it?
They
saw
so
it,
he knew it would say they like see it, right? That he left. So he writes directly to Waltz and to the other officials. He wrote to Pete Hegseth, Ratcliffe, Tulsi Gabbard, and he outlined a bunch of questions. He's like, is this an authentic channel? Like, why are we, like, basically just asked him a bunch of the questions that would spawn from why the fuck am I in this group chat? Who invited me? Da-da-da. Then Brian Hughes, the spokesperson for the National Security Council, responded 2 hours later, confirming that those texts were real. And it says, this appears to be an authentic message chain, and we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain, Hughes wrote. The thread is a demonstration of the deep, thoughtful policy coordination between senior officials. The ongoing success of the Houthi operation demonstrates that there were no threats to troops or national security. You tweeted out what the fuck you were going to do and how you were going to do it 2 hours before you did it, and there was no threats to national security.
That's not.
Yeah, you're
What if
fucked.
the
What are you talking
Houthis
about?
saw that?
Yeah,
Exactly.
What
And
What if the
then
Houthis got the low
They moved the
that-
fuck out of wherever you trying
And
to
like,
bomb.
no matter how you
Or
try
even
to,
what if it just wasn't Jeffrey in the group chat? What if you added a random number
Random person.
and the nigga put it on there while you were doing
While you
it?
doing
What
it.
if
Now
you added an
everybody
ally,
sees-
to the Houthis?
Yeah.
And on top of it, you can try to say that if y'all were on Signal talk, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
and
bro,
you know
that is
it's
very
real.
high risk.
You know it's real because not only did he say that it was real, he also goes immediate into like press defense mode, where it's like, this is clearly a demonstration of the strategic communications, trying to obfuscate the fact. Yeah.
In the messages, what were they saying?
In the messages, they're
That
literally
just got leaked today. or
Yeah,
some shit.
no,
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna
shit,
get
that's
to
why
that.
I
We're not.
gotta
No,
go
no, 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 no.
Today.
Let me set it up.
Set it
Let
up.
me set it
Wait,
up.
Set it up.
so
We
you
gotta
want to
move
know
on.
what's really blowing me though? They added this like they added that the journalist, right? I want to know whose number is kind of close to his shit. 'Cause
Yeah,
they probably weren't even trying to add him. They're trying to add somebody else in there.
Somebody
yeah,
else.
or something. So mind you, right? This is the whole problem with this is, right? Because Signal is not a confirmed thing. The whole thing with Signal is that it's supposed to be like discreet, more discreet or whatever. And I think, and the journalist reports also that Pete Hegseth, or actually says conceivably Walls, by coordinating a national security related action over Signal, may have violated several provisions of the Espionage Act. We'll get into all that, but pretty much what it was is that like they had the message is set to delete after a few weeks, right? And you're not supposed to do that because everything you do as a public official, especially in government, is supposed to be on public record. You're supposed to get that. So basically, if they were to do a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, if a citizen wanted to know what the fuck was going on or whatever, you couldn't request what they're talking about because they're on Signal. So now the question becomes, what else are you guys doing on Signal?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What other things are you discussing on
crazy.
Signal? And why are we trying to like kind of cover it up? Let's
And didn't they say they changed the time of it?
I
saw that it was like 4 weeks, and then they changed it to like 1 week or some shit. That shit was hitting the fan.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fuck shit happening. So first, let's begin with the comments that happen. So all this shit comes out. The reporter drops the story, whatever. Pete Hegseth is on, I think he's on Air Force One when this is all happening. So he knows he's gonna get questioned when he comes out, right? He comes out and they ask him, like, what do you think about this story? They asked Trump too. He was like, I don't know. I'm hearing about it for the first time. The president of the United States didn't know that his vice president.
Okay.
That his vice president and everyone else was
Signal chat.
Yeah. Then they asked Hegseth, and he's like, this journalist Goldberg is deceitful and discredited so-called journalist or whatever. He's trying to discredit it. He's trying to lie about it. And he says nobody was texting war plans. That's all I know. I'm going to leave it at that. Mind you, at this point, that the fucking spokesperson came out already and said that those were real. Yeah. That message conversation I saw where he was like, this demonstrates the coordination. That was already what they responded. So then he went out not knowing that. And he immediately lied about it in Air Force One. Yes. He hopped off the plane and got caught in the lie. So this has like hit the fan. There's been like congressional hearings already that have started about it. And they got Tulsi Gabbard in there, right? The first clip that I wanted to show was her being asked about the shit yesterday, right? Because she was in that conversation. I want you to see how she responds to this question yesterday.
This was yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. There was no classified material that was shared in that. So then if there's no classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security.
She knows.
So if you didn't hear, so she says that there's no classified material in those text messages and everything. And he's like, well, if it's not classified, then share it with the committee. Why hasn't anyone brought it, right? Then I wake up because I remember when I seen it. I remember when I seen it. Yesterday, she made a critical error because if the moment you said that there is not classified information in them texts, that means that the Atlanta reporter could publish everything, right? Yeah, because it's not classified, right?
Let's see it,
right? So let's look at the text that got published this morning when I wake up.
He posted everything.
Yes.
So he didn't post everything.
No.
So he didn't post everything because he said it was classified, right?
So there were other information in those texts, including the name of an apparent CIA operative, and he said he did not declassify that or like put her name in there because of like that she's undercover as an agent. I don't want to like blow her cover, so he didn't include that. Didn't include everything else. Then Tulsi Gabbard goes in and says there's nothing classified. So he's like, I bet.
Okay, word. Nigga, this is what I saw when I opened my eyes this morning.
Let's read the text.
Yeah, can we read the text?
First.
Yeah.
He says, time. The weather favorable. Just confirmed. SETCOM were a go for mission launch. It shows
12:15 ET F-18s launch. First strike packet. Nigga, these niggas, bro, like on some COD shit, nigga.
Yes.
Like,
they are describing in depth what weapons they're about to use, the timing.
13:45 trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. 14:10 more F-18s launch. Second strike package.
This is minute by minute. This is minute by
minute, bro.
These people are genuinely like,
wow.
And because I say that, it's because like
these niggas don't know what the fuck they're doing,
especially her. Why the fuck would you double down and be like, that's not true?
Because they can't say, if they come out and say it was classified material, they're fucked.
Yeah,
But you was
you're
But
fucked.
now,
you're
but
fucked.
now they
Now
couldn't.
you're really fucked.
They got caught.
themselves.
They couldn't get their story straight because it broke too quickly on
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So now they
But I don't
contradicting
know- I don't know
themselves.
what you expected. If the reporter's in there, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what this nigga's
Yeah,
so
exactly.
at that
mind
point,
you,
already
mind
done.
you. So
You
now
should've hit that nigga Jeff
this
and said,
is-
Jeff, we got 80 million for you.
this is what Tulsi Gabbard said this morning when confronted with this.
Oh shit.
So it's your testimony that less than 2 weeks ago, you were on a Signal chat that had all of this information about F-18s and MQ-9 Reapers and targets on strike, and you in that 2-week period simply forgot that that was there. That's your testimony?
My testimony is I did not recall the exact details of what was included there.
That was not your testimony. Your testimony was that you were not aware of anything related to weapons packages, targets, and timing.
Damn.
You're fucked.
Nigga.
You're done.
Oh, you're cooked.
Nigga.
You're done.
They-
No, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Mind
You're done.
you, so now we have lying under oath to Congress already on at least one of them, right? And that's why they go the I don't recall.
Charges.
That's why usually they say I don't recall.
I
But
don't
Tulsi
recall.
fucked up and said there was
Yeah.
no classified.
Yeah, you
No
fucking
classified.
idiot.
So it looks dangerous. out here.
PR training.
On
See,
top of
that
this,
bitch fell asleep in class.
We got better PR training. We ain't do no PR
on
training.
top of this,
God.
right? When the
Stupid.
journalist was initially reporting on this story, as soon as they got word that all this shit was happening, they had their assistant or their coworker like talk to lawyers. And what they said was all of the lawyers that they spoke to said that a U.S. official should not establish a signal threat in the first place. Information about an active operation would presumably fit the laws defining national defense information. The Signal app is not approved by the government, obviously. The government has its own systems. If they wanted to discuss military activity, they should go into a specially designed space known as a sensitive compartmented information facility, or SCIF. So basically, that's like a set
like-
thing that they
yeah,
have.
that's the protocol.
A bunch of people in the cabinet have that like set up in their house too, and you can't usually bring phones into it because it's like if we gonna talk about some crazy national security shit, no one else can be here.
Right.
Now we know that one of them was in Russia, and we know that this was not permitted. I don't know if it's like actually barred from being installed on government phones, but I'm pretty sure it is. If that's the case, they said it could suggest that they were like out in public, moving about, talking about classified fucking
You know
war
how?
plans.
Yeah.
Do you know how easy it is to hack somebody's phone?
Yeah, imagine you lost your phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then
you're
again-
cooked.
But then again,
Done.
that makes sense to why the journalist was added, because these niggas are just walking about and then just like accidentally probably just did it.
Yep. And there was another thing they said.
They probably just messed up.
Literally.
Yeah,
'Cause you're just
literally.
walking about, talking about bombing.
Yeah.
Exactly. They said under the records law applicable to the White House and federal agencies, all government employees are prohibited from using electronic messaging applications such as Signal for official business unless those messages are promptly forwarded or copied to an official government account. Which does not seem like that was the intention because they were set to delete after 4
Exactly.
weeks.
That's nuts.
So this is already where we're at. Now we have lying to Congress, and now we have fucking conspiracy theories. This is Michael Waltz, who was the motherfucker who apparently invited the journalist. And this is what this motherfucker says about it.
We're going to get to the bottom of it. I just talked to Elon on the way here. We've got the best technical
Elon.
minds looking at how this happened. But I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom scum of journalists. And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone, and we're going to figure out how this happened.
You can't even speak. You're going to figure it out. We're going to call Elon Musk to get to the bottom of how you added a fucking journalist. And we know that it happened now because all the shit that they just said wasn't in there. No classified. We have minute by minute. You niggas are caught.
Fucked
Mind
up.
you,
niggas
you
are
just
done.
leaked bomb plans, and your first move is to ride the dick of Elon.
Now, mind you, let's get into the
Right,
broader.
talk to Eli.
Let's get to the broader.
Talk to Elon.
Let's get to the broader context of it, because if we really think about what has happened, right? This looks so bad for the right because all of this talk about DEI, all of this talk about how we can't have it has to be merit-based, we can't have, you have to have the qualifications. This motherfucker here was literally added. Before I get into this, Pete Hegseth, a previously undisclosed whistleblower, a report on Hegseth's tenure as the president of the Concerned Veterans for America from 2013 to 2016 describes him as being repeatedly intoxicated while acting in his official capacity to the point of needing to be carried out of the organization's events. This is a 7-page detailed report.
Pete
Gossip.
He off the handle.
He off the Don Julio acting
Don
Julio.
Julio.
And he said, and this was a 7-page document, like report that was filed by multiple former employees and sent to the organization's senior management of February of 2015. You don't just do that by accident.
no.
This
Right.
is somebody with that on their record. No qualifications besides he was in the military at one point and he dick sucks Donald Trump for a daily basis. And he just got caught up leaking top classified secrets because he has no fucking qualifications.
Done for.
DEI.
What are we talking about, bro?
It's a problem when a black 4-star general exists. It's a problem when Jackie Robinson has a page explaining that he was in the military. But this white motherfucker can literally leak bomb plans 2 hours in advance.
Nuts.
Damn.
Walking about
I
their
thought it
ass.
was merit-based.
Nuts.
And then goes out and then lies about it when the shit is all out.
It's already there,
They're
bro.
lying and
Look.
it's there.
Imagine Barack Obama.
Bro.
Yeah, imagine, bro. He is
nigga,
done
he
in
would
a
be-
heartbeat.
I'm not even gonna say
I
what
ain't
the
gonna
fuck.
say
Nigga,
what we know where that
They'd
nigga would
rip
be.
his suit off, nigga.
We know.
Never mind.
we know.
Let's save that for the
We
whole
know
conversation.
what they would do to him. And this is quite literally like the biggest, like this is like, for this nigga to be talking about Hillary and it being a scandal, this is the biggest. They
Hillary
all
tweeted
got
about
caught
it.
up.
Yeah, Hillary
Hillary
did tweet
tweeted
about
about
it.
Yeah, she was like, you gotta be fucking
You gotta
kidding
be
me.
Because, like, imagine going through all that and you see that. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But I have a question for you. What do you think the future looks like after seeing all this shit?
After seeing all this shit, we're gonna get into
Do you feel
it
like
with
people
the-
gonna be like removed or some shit?
Like, do you think it'd be a shift?
I think that our job right now is to hammer on this point because my feeling is, they don't give a fuck about law and order at all. So, the Republicans, the Trump administration is probably going to get pardoned or some shit from Trump because at this point, we don't even give a fuck about optics. I don't know if any of them will see any actual punishment. The thing that it really comes into play, though, is the senators. The Republicans that are going to constantly be asked about this and how we need to keep pressure on the fact that you guys are defending. This is the biggest national security fuck up in recent history.
And I need all the veterans to stand on this shit, bro.
Mhm.
All of the
Yeah,
veterans.
Because
bro.
think about it as somebody going into a combat
Exactly.
zone. Imagine
they're
your
putting you in
cords are
danger.
leaked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're putting you
Yeah.
in danger.
They could toughen up their defense because they know exactly where the fuck you coming. You could get hurt.
Yeah.
Because now they know what the fuck's happening. And that's because of the sheer incompetence of this administration. They don't even give a fuck. We talking about this shit on stick.
Just imagine,
No,
bro.
that's a real
Just
good-
imagine if the Houthis got that shit, bro. They move out of that area. They bombed the shit. Oh yeah, we killed them all. You go there, nothing there.
ambush,
Now you're
yeah.
surrounded
Ambush,
and ambushed
yeah,
and
cooked.
killed. Cooked.
Thank you for watching this long. If you haven't already, fucking subscribe. What is you doing?
What is you doing?
What is you doing? You think we just sitting here doing this shit for nothing?
You think you're gonna just sit here and not
Need
do shit?
to
Like
eat.
and share this shit.
Click that fuck. I know you're not subscribed. Click it.